Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks Podcast. And today, basically, going to be doing the match preview for the game between Manchester United and Sunderland at home at Old Trafford. This game, it is win or bust for Man United. Like, if we don't win this one, then we know that the season has started to derail. Obviously, albeit it's going to be match week 7, so most probably 30 more games or 31 more games to kind of make amends and stuff, but it is what it is. Unless after with this game, we now start to go on a run, and if we go on a run, then that means we potentially would end the season on a high. But then Old Trafford braces itself for a clash between two sides at very different points of their Premier League journeys. Manchester United struggling for rhythm under Rúben Amorim, face a high-flying Sunderland who have made a fearless return to the top flight. For United, this isn't just another fixture. It's pressure. It's a pressure game. It's win or bust. And for Sunderland, it's another chance to prove that they belong, at English football's top side, top table. I mean, they're high on the table and all of that. So, with head-to-head and historical context, history is firmly on United's side. Basically, Man United have lost just 2 of the last 30 league meetings with Sunderland, winning 22 of them. In fact, Sunderland's record at Old Trafford is abysmal. Just 1 win in their last 31 visits in all competitions. That was back in May 2014, and thanks to Sebastian Larsen's strike, since then it's been dominance for United, right? But this meeting has a fresh narrative. It's the first time these clubs face each other since April 2017, when Jose Mourinho's Man United cruised past Sunderland 3-0 at the Stadium of Light. And Sunderland are no longer the club that fell apart in the Premier League years ago. They return with new ideas and a dynamic coach and momentum. So if we're looking back at stats and head-to-head and stuff, we could go on to say that if you look at basically the stats that govern this team, Man United, especially for goals for, were 10th in the league. Sunderland also 10th in the league. They got 7 goals. We got 7 goals. And then for, shots, Man United are second with 82 shots. We haven't converted anyone. Sunderland are 14th with 54. Then if we go with assists, Man United are 16th with 3. And Sunderland are 7th with 6. And then if we go for saves, Man United are abysmal 18th with 10 saves. Sunderland are second with 19 saves, which means that their goalkeeper is good at saving them. And then with yellow cards, Man United are 19th with 6. Sunderland are 14th with 9, which means they probably are aggressive. So we'll talk about, step by step what to expect from Sunderland and all of that. So they are aggressive, they are hard to play against. And then if we talk about red cards, both teams have had red cards. Casemiro for 1, and then I think Sunderland has got a red card as well. With regards to forwards and stats, forwards, Brian Bumo goals 1, shots he's got 12. And then passes, he's got 130. Shots on target, he's got 6. So 50% of his shots. And then obviously he's had 6 starts with basically 519 minutes played. Benjamin Sesko, same, 1 goal, 8 shots, 5 shots on target, doing pretty well, but fewer shots basically. And then 51 passes with 5 forward passes, as well as he's had 3 starts, right? 295 or 295 minutes played. And then we go with Mateusz Cunha, who has no goals, no assists, no no goals, no assists. Shots 9, shots on target 6, doing pretty well, 74 passes. And then also we're talking about 326 minutes played with 4 starts. Obviously, some of those, the other 2 or 3 starts, 2 or 3 games he missed were injuries, due to injuries. Then, obviously, compared to Sunderland's forward, they have Wilson Isidore. Um, Wilson Isidore has 3 goals, 9 shots, 4 shots on target, 21 passes with 322 minutes. So their forwards are doing better than Man United's forwards. We have Eleazar Mayenda, who has 2 shots on target with 18 passes and 3 starts. Then we have Simon Adingra, who has barely played so many, but he has 1 assist, 2 shots, 1 shot on target in 238 minutes. And then obviously the next head-to-head we're going to be looking at is the head-to-head, the head-to-head for midfielders and defenders. Basically, for Bruno Fernandes, he has 2 goals, 6 shots, 4 on target. So he's had less shots compared to Enzo Lefebvre, who is their best player. 1 goal, 1 shot on target, 78 passes. Bruno's 263. Casemiro, 1 goal, 1 shot on target, 1 shot on target, 102 passes with 244 minutes played, albeit he started basically 4 games. And obviously one of the games he missed was a red card after the Chelsea win. Compared to Granit Xhaka, who is their key player and captain, 3 assists, right? 2 shots, 1 on target. Then Amad Diallo has 6 shots, 3 on target, 142 passes, and basically 4 starts. Missed the last one as well due to compassionate leave. And then we also have in defense, Harry Maguire is leading the line with 1 assist and 81 passes, 2 starts, compared to Omar Alderete. Alderete scored the last goal. He has 1 goal, 1 assist, 3 shots, 2 on target, 5 starts, 487 minutes played more. Patrick Dogo, 1 assist, 5 starts, compared to Daniel Ballard, who has 1 goal, 1 shot on target, 4 shots. Then he's played 167 minutes. Diogo Dallo is next with 1 assist, 114 passes, and 3 starts. And the next is Joe Anderson, who has none. So I just looked at the top 3. And then if we're looking at head to head, say Man United versus Sunderland, the last game, Man United won. The last 5 games, Man United have won 4 and lost 1. 65 wins to 32 draws between both teams. Then Sunderland have won 41 times in all competitions when they faced each other. We're looking at general stats, basically Premier League all competitions. Man United 2, Sunderland 1 win, 1 draw, 2 draws, the like. So yeah, it is disturbing to look at if we look at stats and stuff and head to head. With regards to form guide, if we're talking about form and everything, Manchester United, Manchester United's form points to, paints a grim picture. Everybody knows this. After 6 games, Manchester United have lost 3, conceding 11 goals, and sitting 14th on the table. Just having a look at the table as of, from one of the other slides I showed you. Let's look at the table quickly. For the table, which is on this side of the slide that I just showed you guys, Man United sit 14th, the bottom there, and Sunderland sit 5th. 6 games, three um 3 goals difference, 11 points. Man United 6 games, minus 4 goal difference, 7 points. We win this game, we climb up to close to 7th or 8th, depending on how Chelsea or Man City play, and they play tough games as well over the weekend. So yeah, so we sit 14th on the table. The 3-1 defeat to Brentford brought the problems into a sharp focus with sloppy defending, lack of cohesion in midfield, and an attack that still, feels like it's finding its chemistry. For Sunderland, they are punching above their weight. Newly promoted, they've picked up 11 points from their first 6 games, 6 matches. Their last their best top flight start since 1967-68 season. They're unbeaten in their last 4 games, winning 2 and drawing 2, with standout results against Aston Villa, Brentford, and most recently 1-0 win against Nottingham Forest. Head coach Regis Lebris has even earned a Manager of the Month nomination for September. The momentum clearly favors Sunderland, while United are desperate, basically, to steady the ship. So, if we're going to look at tactical analysis, we're going to talk about how Sunderland plays. The manager, Legis Lebris, has introduced a system that balances pragmatism with moments of vertical aggression. Sunderland typically line up in a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, but the shape is fluid. In possession, they widen their centre backs to stretch the pitch, use fullbacks to progress play, and rely on midfield rotations to pull opponents out of position. They don't dominate the ball for long periods, but instead they focus solely on quick, powerful forward passes. Um, with transitions, this is where Sunderland also shine. When they regain possession, they break quickly with numbers, often flooding wide areas to create overloads before cutting inside. Defensively, Sunderland are compact, happy to defend in mid to low block if needed. They force opponents wide and defend crosses effectively. They are also well drilled at set pieces, though they've already considered one from a dead ball situation this season. Pressing, the manager instructs aggressive pressing on triggers, particularly goal kicks and poor touches. But they are smart enough not to overcommit, preserving energy for counters. This isn't just the Sunderland of old. They are very organized, efficient, and dangerous in transition. And if you underrate them, they pounce on you and they finish you. So we have to be very, very, very determined and very careful and straightforward in what we want to do when it comes to Sunderland. Now, the predicted lineup for Sunderland goes like Roofs in net, and then we have Mukiele and Alderete centre back in their 4-2-3-1. They got Masuaku from Besiktas, so Masuaku plays left back, and Hume plays right back. And then Granit Xhaka and Sadiki in midfield in their two pivots. Then they have Chris Rigg, Enzo and Taubi as their 3 forwards or attacking midfielders. Lefe is left-sided, Taubi is right-sided, and Chris Rigg is in the center. Then they have Isidore, their striker, their leading goal scorer as well, in front. Yeah, and their key player for Sunderland is Granit Xhaka. He's been a revelation since joining this summer. His leadership, he's their captain basically. His leadership, defensive nous, and distribution has anchored Sunderland's midfield for a long time. I mean, for this season as they have played. More importantly, he has assisted, basically, more importantly, he has assisted each of their last 3 games, becoming the heartbeat of their attacking transitions. If Sunderland are to trouble Man United at Old Trafford, Granit Xhaka will be at the center of it, breaking up play and releasing runners. He has played 6 games, 540 minutes, 3 assists. 3 assists. He has 2 yellow cards for 90. He has 2 yellow cards, and that's 0 point something yellow cards per 90, but he has 2 yellow cards. Basically played in the last 4 games. He has played the last 4 games, albeit the last 3 games in the Premier League, all 90 minutes. 0-0 draw Crystal Palace, 1-1 draw at Aston Villa, and 1-0 win at Sunderland at Nottingham Forest away, right? So their form is good, all that. So which takes us over to Manchester United. So for Manchester United, speaking of other key players, Chris Rigg is one of them. Enzo Lefe is another one. So we'll have to keep an eye on those. But speaking of Man United, we're going to talk about how Manchester United play. Basically, Rúben Amorim has stuck with his philosophy, as he has always said, a 3-4-3 system, emphasizing on the width from wing backs, pressing in advanced areas, and structured build-up play. In possession, United try to play vertical football, often using the the up back through, that is passing pattern to progress. The wing backs are very crucial. They provide width while the forwards occupy half spaces. And Bruno Fernandes, as ever, is the creative hub, drifting to find pockets and link up with the strikers. It's expected, we'll see my predicted lineup, but it's expected that Bruno Fernandes will play in an advanced role in this one. But out of possession, Amorim demands a high press, but United have been inconsistent. Against Chelsea, it worked. Against Brentford, the press was bypassed too easily. So when pushed back, they defend in a 5-4-1 block, but they lack compactness, and they lack that compactness that is needed to suffocate opponents. So yeah, and then in transitions, United look to counter quickly through Fernandes or Brian Bumo or even Mateusz Cunha, but the system leaves gap if possession is lost high up. It leaves gaps where you have to chalk up those gaps and cover them up. And then the weakness so far this season has been defensive coordination. Remains a problem. The back three have not really looked settled, with De Ligt and Maguire struggling under pressure, especially for, with the way things have panned out the last game. Maguire played really well against Chelsea, but in this one, I've really, really struggled against Brentford as well. The lack of clean sheets is also becoming a worrying trend because we've barely, had gone through a game without conceding. They keep scoring us in those half spaces between the two defenders. That's De Ligt and Euro, or De Ligt and Maguire, and then De Ligt and Shaw, or the like. So it is what it is. We have to be hopeful that have to grind out a win. And then predicted lineup for Manchester United goes like, I'm going with Alaba there in this one, but the stats say it's an alarm, so don't come for me. I will go with Alaba there, but just don't, yeah. Or you know what? I'm going to change my lineup. So my lineup goes like Lamans. He has not done anything not to deserve a start in this game. Lamans over Altabander. It was Altabander earlier, but I've changed my mind. Believe that Lamans deserves a chance. It's against Sunderland. He can prove his mettle. There's nothing that has to do with him bashing his confidence. It will be his debut at Old Trafford, his first start for Manchester United. And then obviously in defense, I've changed my mind on the centre backs. I'll revert to the original, to basics. The defense we used to play against Arsenal, and the defense we used to play against Burnley as well. Once we used to grind out wins against Burnley and against and then the draw against Fulham. And I'll go with Matthias De Ligt centre back, Lenny Euro right. Euro deserves a start now after missing 2 games. After not starting 2 games, hope that he has confidence to play this one. Luke Shaw as well on the left. We need a left-footed centre back. I would have said Eddie Heaven, but Eddie Heaven hasn't even had any game, so he'll come in as a sub for sure in this one. But Luke Shaw, left of centre back, because of the maturity and the fact that there's no one else. You could say, oh, play Euro there or so, but you play Euro there, you're putting him in a place where he can play it, but he has to pass out so he has to pass out like this instead of passing like this. So yeah, Lenny Euro plays on the right, Luke Shaw plays on the left. However, Rúben Amorim could change it, but I mean, we have to just go with the flow. In midfield, Ugarte drops in the bench, Casemiro comes back, Cunha drops to the bench, and Mikobe Menu plays with Casemiro in the midfield. It's a slow midfield, but it's a midfield that is press resistant, especially for Menu. Control the ball calmly and everything, does all the right things that needed to be done for a midfielder. Give him a chance to prove himself. After 60 minutes, you can sub him off and bring in Ugarte to put a little bit of aggression or something. Then Casemiro, as I said, then Ahmad comes back to the starting lineup, benches Dalot, and then obviously he plays as a right wing back, and then he's going to be pressing on the left and the right back, especially with Masuaku, who's a left-footed player that can play very well and very aggressive, very experienced as well. Remember Masuaku, he played for West Ham. And then obviously Patrick Dogo again. I wish we had another left back maybe to give him a rest or something. but we shall see. Patrick Dogu plays on the left wing back position, Ahmad on the right wing back. And then I'm putting Cunha on the bench and I'm starting Bruno. Let him play behind the striker. If things don't pan out, you sub him off or you sub off the striker. Yeah, you sub him off and bring on Cunha to change dynamics of the game. Bruno should not play in that midfield position, central midfield, so we don't have to worry about overloads and stuff because everybody seems to say he's the problem. But I think basically, if he plays in the attacking midfield position, he can drop back into mid to create that overload so that we will not be outnumbered. But then for Sunderland, a team like that, Brentford did it to us as well. Brentford played hoofed balls over our midfield and typically over our defense. So it was a problem for us dealing with Brentford's long ball. The same thing will happen with Sunderland. They will try and play long balls as I've described in how they play. Then we could talk about the striker, Benjamin Sesko, coming off the back of scoring one goal, give him a chance to score another goal today, and all of that. So pretty much what I expect. Obviously, the other 10 is Brian Bumo, our key outlet and our player that can stretch. Him and Ahmad can isolate Masuako on that side and the likes. So it will be key to see because obviously Granit Xhaka, the captain, is very aggressive and stuff. So we shall see how things pan out. Now, the key player for Manchester United in this one is Bruno Fernandes. Whether we like it or not, we as Man United fans, not Bruno Fernandes, Bruno Fernandes. But the key player that I will pick for Manchester United is Brian Bumo. Now, Brian Bumo has come off leaps and bounds. He scored 2 goals already this season. He's played 7 games. He scored 2 goals, 563 minutes. And then obviously really, really giving it his all in the last 3 games. He's played 90 minutes against City, and then 69 minutes against Chelsea, and then 90 minutes against Brentford. So pretty much our outlet, our strength, and all of that. But another key player to watch is also Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes' record against newly promoted sides is staggering: 5 goals and 6 assists in his last nine games against promoted sides. Beyond numbers, his influence in Amorim's system is irreplaceable. In as much as many Man United fans don't like it, the fact is he thrives in this system more than most players. And if he's having a bad day, the whole team's having a bad day. And he's the link between the midfield and the attack. But if he plays in advanced positions, then we can actually maximize his abilities. Then the set piece, he's also a set piece specialist. He's one that can whipping those balls into the box to create chaos. The emotional leader of the team. Many people don't like the fact that he's very emotional, but that's the kind of player who demands the best, demands more from himself and from his teammates. If United are to unlock Sunderland's discipline block, it will be to come from Bruno and from Brian Mbumo. So let's all be positive and hope that Man United can grind out a win from this one, take us into the international break, so we can actually just have something to look forward to. Then on to the next one. It will be how Manchester United can beat Sunderland. Now, I always give 4 key strategies for Man United to exploit, to be able to beat Sunderland. Number 1 is to dominate the wide areas. Sunderland defend narrow, so United must use the wing backs aggressively. Overlap from Patrick Dogu and cutbacks to the strikers can also help stretch their block. Then another way to do it again is for us to neutralize Granit Xhaka. Sunderland's transitions start with Granit Xhaka, assigning Casemiro or even Kobe Minu to shadow him, cut his passing lanes, disrupt his rhythm is key. Excuse me. So if we neutralize Granit Xhaka, it will be key for us to be able to, stifle them, especially in the midfield. We had the opportunity to do something similar against Brentford, but we didn't. We should have neutralized Jordan Henderson, but we didn't. So he took advantage and played those balls over us, and that's it. For defensive discipline in transition, United have been punished repeatedly on the counter. Leny Yoro's recall could also add pace and composure to the back. Staying compact when the wing backs push forward is very crucial. So Leny Yoro coming back into the team, like I said, will be a good opportunity for us to be able to defend with speed and then transition with speed as well. De Ligt can also run back. Sure, hopefully can run back because he's got the pace and he can play as a wing back. And we can also play some sort of like a pseudo 4-2-3-1 style formation where the players kind of shift a bit. So if you look at the 3-4-2, just to give you a hint of an idea of what I mean, look at the 3-4-2-1. If the players do like a shift a little bit where the Ligt and Euro become like the center back and Shaw becomes more wider, then Ahmad becomes the wide guy as right back, then Bumo becomes the right wing back, then Bruno shifts inside, and then Dogu becomes the flying left winger. It creates a bit of a transition and an evolution in the team, make us kind of play well. I doubt if Amorim will play that. We could also do a situation where one of the wing backs tucks into midfield instead of stretching the field. Let's say Ahmad tucks into midfield to help in the midfield overload so that Bumo can be the wide guy who stretches the field when we switch play and stuff. So Ahmad could also be our outlet for switch of play if Luke Shaw is switching play or if Bruno is switching play and all of that. But I want Cunha to sit out this one so that Bruno can actually play as a 10 and then obviously he can be subbed off eventually like he was subbed off against Chelsea. So that aside, so we also have to be very efficient in set pieces. Sunderland have shown, frailties on dead balls. They've also scored set pieces this season. With Bruno Fernandes' delivery and aerial threats like Šeško and De Ligt, United must make corners and free kicks count. We haven't done that this season a lot at all. We haven't done that. The only one I can remember is from the Fulham game where Euro headed the ball. We have heights. We have Euro there as well. We have Euro, we have Šeško, we have De Ligt. These guys can head the ball, cross this ball to them. Even when we need to cross the ball into the box for Šeško, we should cross it or pass it. Especially for Ahmad and Dogu, they need to create chances for these strikers. So it is what it is. Moving on, this fixture has all the ingredients of a banana skin for Man United, basically. Sunderland are full of confidence. They are tactically disciplined. They've been drilled and they're eager to make a statement. And United, meanwhile, are under pressure, struggling for consistency, yet still dangerous. When Man United are attacking set pieces, if they click, then things happen. If Amorim's side can control, transitions and exploit the flanks, and impose themselves at home, then this should be enough for Man United to just edge this. But make no mistake, Sunderland are not here to make the numbers, right? To make up the numbers. This could also be another nervy afternoon at Old Trafford. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in this one. For me, what I'll predict as my scoreline will be a hard 4-2-0. This is me just being very optimistic. A hard 4-2-0. One goal from Šeško and another from Bumo for his hard work. And then a pair of assists from Bruno, So let me know your thoughts and feelings. What's your prediction for this game? I know most people have lost faith. Believe that Amorim can win. At least a couple of wins will just kind of keep things calm. But 9 wins in 9 wins in Premier League since he started in November last year, and we're about to hit 1 year. Really disappointing, but it is what it is. We have to be hopeful and believe that Manchester United can grind out a win against newly promoted Sunderland. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section as we build towards the game. The next video you're going to probably see is either the live stream or the presser review, depending on which one comes out first. See that, we'll analyze it and we'll talk about it, and then I'll let you know what we have discussed and all that. So let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye and God bless.